So today's affirmation for all of us is we shall be free. Because the freedom, just the freedom to see the beauty that we were singing about, we're free to see that. We're free to choose. That's our greatest gift we've been given, is the freedom of choice. That we can choose to see beauty or not. We can choose to see love or not. We can choose that. And then, the best gift is because we not only choose, we're also creators. So most of the time, I'd say for me anyway, you choose to see beauty, but sometimes you don't. We have a little combination of both. You choose to see love, but sometimes you don't. We get to, at any single moment of our life, make a better choice with a more expanded consciousness. Because as Sage said, we're not bound because of this infinite potential we live in, this unlimited intelligence. We're bound because of our beliefs. We believe we're bound. Some of us actually, I've heard, live on an imaginary island of not enough. Right? Oh, there's not enough time. How many times do you say that? There's not enough time, there's not enough money, there's not enough power, there's not enough love. I'm not enough. I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm not smart enough. This little island we have. And what happens on an island of not enough is we hold on to everything really tight because that's all there is. That's all there is. And so on that island, we're not alone when we're there. I've lived there many times. I've moved on a little bit, I think, I hope. But anyway, on that island, people don't only hoard, they become competitive and jealous and greedy. And just right across the waterway is the land of infinite flow. And all we need to do is open our consciousness enough to be willing to see things differently and trust. We've got to trust the invisible. And that's hard when our eyes see the physical. But we have to entrust there's always something more going on. If we imagine, if a bird has lived its whole life, even though it's very confining and tight, in a little cage, it's that birdie's cage. And if the door is opened, the bird won't willingly fly out usually. Because even though that space is limiting and confining and at times difficult, it's familiar. And that little bird has forgotten that the sky is its home, not the cage. It has forgotten it has wings. And that's the same thing with us. We have the ability for so much more. We are made of potential and possibility, but we get bound by the belief that this is all there is. And it keeps us limited. Remember Hafez, the 14th century Sufi mystic, said, the beloved, God, continually says, your soul, your soul, your soul, your soul, your soul completes me. I am made whole by your life. Because we are the way Spirit, God, infinite presence knows itself. We're here to express that goodness that's ever-changing, ever-growing, ever-evolving. So we need to loosen our grip. What is it that's so familiar to you you're not willing to let go of, to make space for something bigger and something more? We all have it. There's something that's calling us to be more, to know more, to choose better. Ernest Holmes has said the soul is always free. That's why we call it the light. Did you see the Statue of Liberty and the fireworks and how beautiful? That light and brightness is in us. The soul, that's what the soul represents, that sparkly brightness. But we have to let it free. And Ernest said it is the mind that must be set free. We have to own that we are capable and we are made in that image and likeness of something so much more. You know, it was Jesus that said, a house divided against itself cannot stand. And that means when our humanness and our spirit are not connected, when we can't, as David White, the poet, said, we have to live just outside ourselves, to be a little more. We have to stretch beyond this physical confine to know, we got to reach up, hitch our wagon, our earthly wagon, to a star. So we don't live divided against ourselves. It was Abraham Lincoln, his most famous speech, one of them, in 1858, was called The House Divided. And he was facing, you think our country hasn't faced difficulty? Whoa, the Civil War, worst of all. And here he was at that time and said, a house divided against itself cannot stand. And he was talking about the Civil War and slavery. We've got to come together and heal these separations, or we're never going to grow and expand. And we did. We've had the Civil War, the Great Depression. We've had the Vietnam War. We've had so many things pulled us apart, but we know better. Our soul knows better. We know how to come together. We know how to mend and heal and grow, for sure. We must dream bigger, absolutely. So what does freedom look like? Well, for me, and I know, Sage, you gave some beautiful things that freedom looks like. Freedom is inclusive. So freedom happens with forgiveness. And forgiveness is not saying everything in the past is okay. A lot of us have had a lot of harm done in our life, or a lot of challenges, a sadness. Doesn't mean it's all okay. Forgiveness just means we're not going to let the past run our lives. We're not going to keep reliving it. It's about we can free ourselves from those confines so we can be open to greater understanding, greater knowing. Because with understanding comes freedom. With greater understanding comes that openness that frees us. So freedom comes with forgiveness. And freedom is also about choosing love. You know, fear has a big voice. Do any of you hear fear voices at times? Fear has a voice. Fear tells us, when is the next shoe going to drop? You know, when's that going to happen again? There's not enough. You know, fear's feeding us with all of this limiting, the limiting words, the limiting voices, and our soul, our spirit is saying, what can we create here? What can be new? What possibility can I hold on to? What is something more? What wants to be born in me? So fear has a voice, and spirit has a voice. And spirit doesn't tell us, oh, don't be afraid, because, you know, this human life gets pretty scary sometimes. We got to own that fear is part of our life, but we don't let fear be the final voice. We know how to choose our spiritual practices of prayer, affirmation, being in nature, contemplation, reading good spiritual books, doing something that can lift us out of the problem into the possibility. We know there's something more for all of us that we can do. It's there for us. This is something, I love this quote by Howard Thurman, the beautiful priest and spiritual teacher, Howard Thurman. He said, don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive. Because what the world needs is people who come alive. Freedom isn't free. Freedom is something we have to work on, we have to claim, we have to cultivate, we have to hold on to, we have to live it and be it. It takes courage. It takes courage to do the next step. Take that step that's out of the cage. Take the step that's not familiar and do something more. It takes courage. So what is it that you do that makes you feel alive? I just want you to take a moment and just, if you feel good, put your feet on the ground. Take a nice deep breath. You might wiggle a little bit just to open some of the spaces that want to be open within, because there's a part of us, that divine urge, that is calling us to be more alive, be more awake, to love ourselves and to love life just the way it is. It's not freedom from circumstances that keeps us free. It's when we're free inside of circumstance, because life is messy, life is hard, life is beautiful and wonderful, but being free and alive in each and every moment, and know we are at choice. And when a time comes and the things that come out of us are not loving, or not kind, or not good, we know in that moment there's a space between what we hear, what we see, whatever stimulus it is. There's a space, and in that space, we have a choice. on how to respond. So in this moment, if you have something in your life right now that's bringing some discomfort, some pain, some challenge, some negativity, settle into that space and see how that particular moment can be uplifted, can be changed to see a greater vision, to know something better right here and now. So just let that be and plant that seed of possibility, that seed of better wisdom, that unbound aliveness in you that's ready to grow. Just let that be. And take a nice deep breath again. See that as you've planted it, listen to it, allow it to guide you, and let it grow. And as we come back to this room, I have this little short saying that really meant a lot to me when I heard it. There is an old saying, 2 prisoners looked at the same bars. One saw mud, the other saw stars. Neither denied the bars. One simply chose a larger vision. A larger vision for life. So this is a really potent time when we all, did you love watching people come together? Wasn't that just so wonderful, and just everywhere, around the country, around the world? And when the FIFA players were over here celebrating America and loving it, and we got to enjoy that too, how beautiful that is. This is a time we get to celebrate and be happy and feel so blessed and be grateful for where we are, be grateful for what we're doing and that we're here. 250 years old sounds old until I put my number in. I go, that really isn't that old. You know, we're still young, we're still growing, we're still learning. So that's a beautiful thing, a beautiful thing. So I'm going to ask you or invite you to do one thing just this day. Many of us, besides some live on that imaginary island of not enoughness, many of us carry a backpack, an invisible backpack, filled with stones of regret, failures, hurtful things people have said to us, things we've not done so well, and things people have done not so well for us, and we carry it. And somebody will say, why are you carrying that backpack? Well, these are all the things that are me. I have to carry this around. But we're carrying around things that Spirit doesn't want us to. Spirit wants us to know. God wants us to know how loved we are, how important we are. Remember, we're that expression. So what's one stone you can take out of your backpack of fears and guilts and regrets? Because one stone, a little freedom, another stone, more freedom. We keep doing all this until we are free. And there'll be more stones, and we'll have to take them out. But we get in the practice of really putting things into perspective. So I'm going to ask for a little call and response. The call is for us to stand up. And when you stand up, it's like Sharon was saying, what was your question, Sharon, for the women's group? Who am I outside of the stories I tell? And Randy, what did you say? I don't remember. But it was perfect. I know who I am was what I heard. Is that close? Okay, good, because that's what I heard. So let's just be in that. Let's take Sharon's work and stand in that. I know who I am. So just stand there. Just, I know who I am. I know who I really am. I am a child of love. I am a divine expression. I am a creator of peace, a sharer of love, a giver of life. I shall be free. Not tomorrow, not when everything works out, but right now, right here, right now. The truth I know is I am free, and so are you. Thank you, God. And so it is.